What's up, guys? Brant Phillips with Real Estate Fundamentals. So as you may already know, I'm a part of eXp Realty. So once a month, I get the honor to come in and speak to the eXp world, talking to real estate agents all across the country and even in other countries, how to grow their business working with real estate investors. So what you're going to see is the sessions that I did on really just helping agents get some ideas and ways to really, with no marketing expenses, grow their business working with the real estate investors. In case you didn't know, this is my company, Invest Home Pro. You can see it here as well. And we're an Inc. 5000 investment company, and we've done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of investment deals over the years. And the only reason I'm sharing this is we're expanding. We have a joint venture program that we're working on with teaming up with local agent investors in different markets across the country, and we're basically bringing on agents to go out and run leads. We are doing marketing now. Whenever we find trusted team members in these other markets, we're bringing team members on to go out, join our team, get plugged into working with my marketing director. I have a marketing director who's performing marketing duties in each market. I've got an acquisitions manager who's helping manage the leads, and we're teaming up with agent investors to do deals, to buy houses, to flip houses, to acquire rentals, mobile home parks, and all these other markets. So I just wanted to add that in there. So that being said, that's a tangent. If you're interested in seeing what that looks like in teaming up with my company and with Invest Home Pro, if you're a hardworking, honest, ethical real estate agent who has the desire to invest, you may not have that experience. That's okay. If you are willing to learn and train and go all in, let's talk. Anyways, that being said, I hope you guys enjoy the video of learning how to grow your business working with real estate investors live from the eXp world. So hope you guys enjoy it. Y'all take care. So I think we're gonna go for it. So usually takes me a minute or two here, to second or two, to figure out the controls. Okay, got it. First time. There we go. Awesome. All right, well, appreciate everybody coming out. If you have, questions or comments or things like that, just, of course, pop them into the comment section. Sometimes I try not to look at the comments too much because I get distracted, and so I'll just kind of go through the slides, and then if you have questions, I'll run through the comments at the end, and if it's just something really important, just unmute yourself and fire away. I'd be glad to answer that way as well. I kind of prefer some of the conversation more so than the comments, but whatever works for you guys. And yeah, so here we go. So first slide, this is the why should I listen to you slide, I like to call it. So I'm in Houston, Texas, and started in real estate 15 years ago now, I guess I should say, and been with eXp about 2.5 years. Been an Icon agent first 2 years, working on my third year now. And my focus really is on real estate investments. My story that I'll try to keep short was I was working in the corporate world. After 7 years working in law enforcement, I went into the corporate world because the grass is always greener, right? And went into that corporate world and hated it pretty much from day one. But my wife and I started growing a family. So I said, all right, I'm going to do this corporate thing because I have to, but I wanted to figure out something else. And we were living in an apartment, and the idea of, investing in real estate was probably like a million miles away from any ideas that I had. But I had some very fortunate people that kind of showed up in my life and kind of steered me in the right direction, and started reading books, Rich Dad Poor Dad, for example, Robert Kiyosaki and Stephen Covey, just like personal development kind of stuff. And even though my wife and I were like absolutely broke, living in an apartment, had no money because we had just finished paying off student loans and credit cards and bad debt kind of stuff. And then I began to learn about good debt and leverage in real estate. So bought 10 rental properties, used a credit card as a down payment to help buy 10 rental properties in 2007 while working a full-time job. 2008, put together a couple small partnerships, So I was able to buy, 10 more rental properties. Then left my job 2009. That's when I got licensed and became like a full-time, real estate entrepreneur, and began flipping houses, buying more rentals, doing owner finance notes, and just, things kind of took off from there. I've written a few books and things like that, and been fortunate to go speak on Fox News and different places. And yeah, so the realtor part of my business was, like I mentioned, I got my license in 2009. And honestly, for me, it was kind of a hedge in case the investing thing didn't work out. I would be able to do that. And because I really love real estate. Some people, they're just in it, don't, just whatever for money or whatever. I mean, I love my wife and my kids more than I love real estate, but like in terms of trading my time for money, I love real estate. I mean, I had a job before that I really disliked. So this whole investment arena and just what I do, I loved it. But the realtor license was a way to help grow and support my investing business. So I hung it at a flat fee shop. Didn't use it a whole lot, to be quite honest with you, because I've just been so busy and had an agent on staff that was doing most of my listings. And whenever I saw EXP a few years ago, I mean, it was just genius. I'm like, this is like, I have to do this. So had deactivated my license before I saw EXP. I'm like, I'm going to reactivate that now. Joined EXP. I'm very, very glad that I did. It's really opened up a whole new world, and I just continually inspired by Glenn and everything that he's doing. So yeah, EXP is awesome. I guess we already know that, but let me talk now about the slides. So we're going to talk about how to grow your business working with investors, and what are we going to cover? Some of the benefits and of working with investors. I know most of you guys probably know this, but when I speak, I know that there's people at all experiences and all spectrums in the real estate world. I've got brand new people who have no idea even what some of the benefits are, and I've got some of you guys that are very experienced. I get it. So I'm gonna kind of do some 101 conversations during my presentation, some more advanced stuff. But we will talk about the benefits of working with investors, how to find investors, how to find and send deals to investors, and really the importance of being a connector and relationships. Okay. All right. So the benefits of working with investors. So I think we're all here probably for, underlying reason, main reason really is to make more revenue, right? Make more money, ideally making more money in the least amount of time with the most efficiency. And then even a little bit more ideal is working with people that you really enjoy working with and that you enjoy helping. So there is a lot of opportunity in the investment arena that I don't think a lot of people understand how big that opportunity is. So I read a statistic a while back that it mentioned that over 50%, and this is really important, it mentioned that over 50% of all real estate transactions are off-market real estate deals. Okay, over 50% of all real estate transactions that take place are off-market deals. So what does that mean? Okay, it means that these off-market deals are most likely, a lot of them are being sold or to real estate investors and bought by real estate investors. Okay, that's how most real estate investors operate their business. They are buying off-market deals. They're not running through a brokerage. They're not running through the MLS. They're typically closing at title companies, but they're not something that's open to the market. And so a lot of people just don't even realize this. So there's a lot of deals, more deals going down off market than on market. It's really jaw dropping. Now, that may change in the future. There's a lot of legislation in certain states that's outlawing, so to speak, some of these off-market transactions and wholesaling and stuff like that. So Some of these opportunities may be coming to market, which would be great in my opinion, because there's a lot of bootleg, shady kind of stuff that a lot of these just, uneducated and just kind of bad people do off market and take advantage of sellers and things like that. But there's a lot of opportunity out there. That's I really want to drive home that point. Okay, so I also read somewhere else that the investor agent ratio is 7-1. So I don't know how accurate this is, obviously, but whatever poll or survey or research they did, 7-to-1 ratio, 7 people identified themselves as a real estate investor in some way, shape, form, or capacity, compared to only one agent. Now I know there's we've got 2 million ish realtors in the continental U.S. or U.S. overall, I should say, and so by that ratio, that means there's north of 10 million people that are saying they're a real estate investor. So that's a good ratio. We like that ratio, right? If you're an agent looking for clientele, that's a really good number that you like. Investors buy and sell often. Okay, so AKA double commission on the same property. So a property that an investor is buying today, they may literally be selling that property in a month or 2 or 3 months later. Our company, we will buy and sell 40 to 50 homes a year just in our local market, and we do some things outside of our market as well. And literally we had 2 closings in January for 2 particular homes that we had bought, one in October and one in November, and we sold them both in January. So there's a lot of quick turnaround. So that's one thing, compared to, say, for example, you have a listing, or you're working with a buyer's agent, you're probably not going to see that client again, or it's going to be 3 to 7 years. So that's one of the benefits. And then, when I said they buy and sell often, I mentioned we buy 40, 50 houses a year, and I'd say we're kind of in the middle of, we're not even one of the quote unquote big guys. I've got friends and know people in this industry that are buying hundreds of homes each and every year. A lot of these guys, they're not licensed, and even if they are not doing these transactions themselves. They are doing a substantial amount of their business from referrals, as do we. So I'll talk about that later. But the point here is, if you can get connected, and you can, with a good investment group, and it doesn't really take many, it really just takes one, or even just 2 or 3 or a handful of investors or investment companies. The point is that if you cultivate that relationship and just really solidify yourself as kind of a go-to take care of business agent, you have that potential to do multiple transactions over and over and over again. Okay. So another benefit, most investors, not all, but most investors that I know they're less emotional, in the deal. They're numbers guys. Okay. So the deal's all about the numbers. So that can save you some time, some headaches, some stress. And those are good things that, you want to save as much as you can. And that really leads me to the next kind of bullet point, which says, less games and less hand holding. Our business has just got to the point where I'm not going out and seeing most of the deals that we buy and sell. Doing things with video and pictures and inspection reports to a certain extent, even though we don't order official inspection reports, but we do our own various inspections through our team members and contractors and things like that, and engineers. So, but my point is, there's less games and hand holding. Like if you're sending me a deal, any of you guys, if y'all send me a deal and you want to send me a deal, I'd love for you to. We're actually, by the way, buying a lot of mobile home parks. So we're like aggressively looking for mobile home parks, and I know there's not a lot of people buying those. And so my point is, if you're working with, and me or like an investment company like this, we're going to get down to numbers. Like, I'm going to ask for some pictures. If you have comps, you can send them. That's great. If not, we're going to do that ourselves anyways. And even if you send them, we're still going to do our own. But we need some pictures and just any, correlated or correlating information that you may know that doesn't kind of come through in pictures, the general area, maybe things that inside about the market or some, great features about that home. But man, it's going to be about the numbers, the comps, and just getting right down to business. So that's really one of the benefits of working with investors. And then referrals. Okay, so I mentioned, most of my friends in this business, a lot of them, some of them are, but most of them, I would say, are not licensed, and some of them are licensed, but they don't have time to do the realtor activities. And so whenever they have listing leads, they do referrals with agents. And this has become, it's been this way for, 6-7 years. When the market began changing for us in Houston, let's see, we crashed in 8 and 9, 10, 11, 12, I started noticing outsiders coming into our market, right? And that's like, hey, and look, we've not had a major market correction in 13, 14 years now. And so with that means we transitioned from a buyer's market, 2008, 9, 10, 11, to slowly transition to seller's market, 2012, et cetera, up until now. So really what that means for people like myself, investors who are spending a lot of money and efforts with our direct marketing efforts, we're targeting motivated sellers that are typically distressed properties, and there's a lot of situations there that are a little bit ugly, that just want to be done with it and move on and take a cash offer. That's what we're looking for. And the situation is now where a majority, and this is very important, if you're taking notes, it's something to pay attention to, but a majority of our motivated seller leads, they're not motivated, right? There's not a financial distress situation. Now, this has changed in the last year with COVID and with the economy, and I don't know what it's going to, like how 2021 is going to play out. But up until this point, our motivated sellers that we're marketing to, we started finding this out years ago, like, hey, they're not that motivated. I don't think a cash offer works for them. Let's talk about a listing opportunity. So this is the same conversation that real estate investors are in, where they're getting these leads that aren't a good lead for them for what they do, which is make a cash offer. So years ago, we started saying, hey, let's go in a little bit more with the solution mindset of saying, hey, I understand a cash offer doesn't work for you. What about listing your property? And because my time is nil, we do referrals with local agents, and we only refer those to EXP agents because we're going to feed it to the family, right? But in your markets, whatever market that you're in, what I want to encourage you to do, if you're looking to grow your business, I'm assuming you all are because you're on this presentation, is start cultivating these relationships with other real estate investors, because I guarantee you they are getting leads that they can't monetize. Some of them don't even realize it because they're one-trick pony, so to speak, or they've got blinders on. So when they get leads coming in, they're giving a cash offer. If that offer is being accepted, great. That could end up being a listing for you on the back end. But if that offer is getting rejected, they're not moving into a listing opportunity. If you can really cultivate that relationship with the real estate investor, then you want to be that person who's fresh on their mind, that you have a boilerplate, referral agreement where they can send those leads to you, right? And you in exchange give them a referral agreement. And this is something like, if you do nothing else from this presentation today, is start talking to other real estate investors in your market, and just asking them if they're curious on hearing about how they can monetize some of their dead leads. Hopefully y'all get that, because that is really really important, that you can help real estate investors monetize their dead leads by going and working their cold leads, their dead leads, so to speak, and talking about expired. A lot of these are expired listings. We get reached out by a lot of expired listings. So anyways, I hope y'all got that, because that's pretty important. If you got that, you're going to hit me with a thumbs up kind of thing, because that's really, really important. All right, so a couple other benefits here are free investing advice. I meet a lot of agents who are interested in investing. We run an agent investor mastermind, by the way, and so we have a lot of agents who they want to learn. They want to learn how to maybe flip a house, or buy some rental properties, or do owner financing notes, or mobile home park, whatever it is. So that's a great way to learn. If you're working with some real estate investors, you can just learn vicariously through them, watching their deals go on, talking to them, getting plugged in with one of their coaching programs perhaps, and who knows what else. I put on here partnership possibilities. So I've partnered with other agents who've brought us deals, and we're actually funding. We do a little bit of lending. We're funding 4 or 5 deals right now for EXP agents who are investing themselves. And it's just opens up a whole new world whenever you have these skill sets. And I put also express offers. So if you guys haven't looked at express offers, or if you're not certified with the express offer program, I highly encourage you to take a look at that. Consider adding that to your resume, so to speak, because what I'm covering today is very just kind of quick overview. Express offers goes in depth, and that is definitely a lead valve for you guys that I would highly encourage you to look at. All right, so those are kind of the benefits. Okay, so how to find investors. They're everywhere. It's not that hard, but it does take time. Okay, it's like all marketing. I say marketing's not difficult. Typically, you got to spend one of two things, like time or money. Okay, so the thing with investors, it's not hard, but it's going to take some time. Take a little bit of time, a little bit of energy and effort. But the good news is real estate investors are everywhere. Remember, we said the 7-to-1 ratio. I like to say they're hiding in plain sight. They could be at at your church, at your kid's school, at functions, sporting events, whatever, things like that, at the grocery store. They're all over the place. They're all over the place. You don't even realize it. Networking events. So I realize that, like live in-person networking events aren't going on as much as they used to, but they're starting back up. I'm actually going to one tonight, as a matter of fact, a local one. So they're starting back up. So to do a search meetup for your area and different websites. I put one down there. You can look at the National RIA, so you can get connected with some networking events in your area. And then obviously, like we're at eXp Realty, so we're very good at the virtual thing, right? Or else we wouldn't be here. So look on places on social media in the virtual world, going on to certain Facebook groups, LinkedIn groups, Clubhouse now, guys. That's another one. Bigger Pockets is one specifically I reached down here. This is a big real estate investor blog site. It's got a lot of different groups, different forums. So you can get in some local groups and start making some connections with people in your market. And I try to stay, I'm not, incredibly active on social media. I actually probably need to do more, but I'm pretty active out there, and I'm trying to drum up business, and so we're starting to get some deals here and there, from people private messaging us or seeing something on our YouTube channel or social media. And that's kind of what we're doing, is we try to put out content that helps other people, but obviously that will hopefully help our business too. So do the same thing. If you've got some tips, you've got some ways that you can lead with value, so to speak, do that, and just start cultivating those relationships. You probably all seen bandit signs that are out at a lot of intersections. We buy houses, we buy ugly houses, we buy this, we buy that, behind on payments, yada yada yada. All these little bandit signs. So those are typically put out by real estate investors in your market. That's one of the number one ways that they advertise. We don't advertise with bandit signs. I kind of don't like them, and you can get fined and all that kind of stuff. But just so you know, these guys that are putting out those signs, they're either wholesalers or investors, which are kind of the same thing. There's different kind of levels of real estate investor, but call those signs. Say, hey, I'm an agent looking to cultivate some relationships with real estate investors, build a list on who I can send, motivated seller leads to, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, what are you doing with your cold leads? Have you looked at monetizing those through an agent referral system? And just start having those conversations. Talk to other agents, okay? Talk to other agents. This was kind of eye-opening to me. There's a lot of agents who, they're kind of turning their nose up, so to speak, at some of the ugly listing opportunities. Just doesn't meet their criteria, and they're walking away from them, and like, oh no, I don't want to list that. And talk to them. Say, hey, if you guys, this may be in some of the local, agent groups or networks that you're in, just get the word out. Basically, that's what marketing is, right? Getting the word out that, hey, you've got a network of real estate investors. If they've got some listings that are just too beat up, too broken down, sellers too motivated, doesn't want a bunch of people coming in their house because of COVID. And me and my acquisitions manager were just talking about 2 situations today with people that are in a situation where they are not wanting people to come to their house, right? And so we're like, hey, we can be the only person that comes there, and most likely it's going to be in the form of doing a 3D Matterport or walkthrough with someone who's at a scheduled time, who's masked and all that kind of stuff, and we don't have to come back if you like our offer. So provide some solutions, talk to other agents, tell them what you're doing, and cultivate those relationships. One of the most profitable flip deals that our company's ever done was a referral from a real estate agent. It was a 6-figure net deal for us in a pretty short period of time, about 7 months, and that was brought to us from an agent. And she was just a go-getter. She was a go-getter. She was a hustler, and she started bringing us a lot of leads, not a ton of deals, but she sent us a lot of leads, and a lot of them she got from other agents. And that's what she did. She kind of marketed herself as as an investor niche type of agent. And so definitely look at other agents, talk to your title companies. They most likely are working multiple real estate investors, and just talk to them. Hey, who are some of your biggest buyers here? You might have to reach out to them and cultivate relationships there. And hard money lenders too, okay? So hard money lenders, if you're not familiar with those, I see some questions coming. I'll address those in just a little bit. But hard money lenders, if you're not aware, these are guys who have high interest type loans, loan at 12 or 14%, but they loan to real estate investors on properties that they wouldn't otherwise be able to get financing on. So if you talk to some hard money lenders, kind of same thing, lead with some value. Say, hey, I'm working on some, generate some leads for real estate investors, but I really like to get my leads out to, trusted, reliable investors. Do you happen to, could you connect me with some of your top investors? And if I get them deals, I'll send them to them. And it looks like they're borrowing money from you, so we can both grow our business. And by the way, do you have any of your customers that are needing help on listing their properties or monetizing cold leads? Just start having these conversations, right? And those are just some of the ways. There's a lot of other ways, on social media and Facebook and things like that, where you can cultivate relationships. But those are some of the easiest ways to find investors. Okay, so how do you find and send deals? Okay, so there's some things. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the marketing side of things, and then just kind of how to send it to real estate investors and present it, so to speak. So the easiest thing, kind of the low-hanging fruit, I would say, and I try to teach this too, where you can find deals with little to no marketing budget, basically. And so what I start with the low-hanging fruit, like I said, like driving for dollars. Okay, driving for dollars. So what do I mean by that? If we are all some point in time getting our cars, driving around town, driving through neighborhoods, taking little Johnny or Susie to soccer practice, or going to a listing appointment, or putting out a sign, or removing a lockbox, or going to the title company, we're all running around, and we are all literally driving past dollars. We're driving past deals. We're driving past opportunities. So there's a number of apps these days, and there's one that's called a Driving for Dollars app. There's one that's called a Deal Machine app. There's a door knocking app that an EXP agent created. I think it's called Knockwise. Kind of funky spelling on the Wise part. I think it's like WYZ or something. I'm not quite sure on that, and I haven't used it. So I'm not promoting any of these. I'm just telling you there's probably like a dozen other apps for this. But you can literally download an app when you drive past a distressed property. And what I mean by that, we've seen them, grass to our knees or waist, broken windows, violation stickers, hole in the roof, mail pouring out the mailbox, looks like it hasn't been painted in 50 years, whatever. They're ugly houses, okay? That's what they're called in the industry. When you see those houses, you pull your car over, and you just do the app thing, which takes like 20 seconds probably. You take a picture. It'll, most of them will say, is this the address? You confirm it, and then it goes onto your list. Some of them you can even skip trace them right there on the spot. You can set up direct mail just by clicking a button and start mailing to these addresses, right? Or you could do what takes a little bit more work and get out and knock on the door and say, hey, I'm a real estate agent. Just wanted to introduce myself and let you know if you need some help and would like to talk about, offers or selling your house, stuff like that. Then you take it from there, right? And so my point is, we're all driving past deals and dollars each and every day. I always like to tell this story. This is right when I joined EXP, and I was hosting a local networking event for many, many years. An agent came to the presentation, came to the event, and I did a little teaching on driving for dollars. And he sent me a picture of a home that was, it was messed up. I'll just say it was messed up. It needed a massive amount of work. The problem was, and Jimmy, this agent who's just absolutely crushing it in the world of real estate, and he's with EXP now. The problem for Jimmy was that this ugly house was right next to his listing. So he's like, man, I don't know if people are going to want to buy my seller's home because of this home next door. So all he did was send us a picture. My acquisitions agent skip traced the person, found them. They were out of town landlord, and had no idea the house was in that shape. They had some tenants there that they thought were taking care of the property, and then things went bad. The house had been vacant for several months, and it was just really, really, really messed up. So long story short, we bought the house, paid Jimmy a referral fee, closed on the house, rehabbed it, sent it back to him so that he got the listing on the back end, right? And then I cultivated a relationship with Jimmy. I'm like, man, have you ever looked at EXP? So Jimmy's like one of my top agents at EXP now. And my downline, he's like, I love the guy. I have 2 loans loaned out to Jimmy now because he's flipping houses himself. So, all that started just because Jimmy was like, hey, here's a deal. Let me send it to you. Now, I don't think Jimmy sends those deals to us anymore. I think he's doing them himself. But that's all good. So, how do you find deals? So this goes back to the same slide before was, how do you find real estate investors is talk to other agents, but also how to find deals is from other agents too. They're turning up their nose and they just don't know what to do with certain deals. The MLS, okay, so everything's cyclical in real estate. These days, I'll be honest, like we don't really look on the MLS for deals. We used to, and partly like it's market centric, so to speak. Our market, it's just saturated with real estate investors. So if there's a deal on the MLS, it's probably gone within a matter of minutes. So just depends on your market. There are deals on the MLS though. And like I said, everything's cyclical and it depends on what cycle that your market is in, on whether or not you can find deals on the MLS. Direct mail. So, I said I was going to talk about this where you didn't have to spend a lot of money. But direct mail doesn't have to be a huge budget. You can cultivate your ideal markets, neighborhoods that you live in, only distressed properties, like with the Driving for Dollars app type of thing. So you're not spending a lot of money on marketing because you're only marketing and targeting, say, for example, vacant distressed properties, which are our number one ideal type of property, because if there's a vacant property that's distressed, there's probably a seller who's distressed, and those are the people we can typically help the most and the quickest. And then you can also, there's some efficiency with your marketing in terms of, with direct mail, you're all a licensed real estate agent, so you're not competing with like these We Buy Houses, fast cash guys. But you just may have another solution, right, that you can offer to clients that you're direct mailing for a listing opportunity, right? And so you can just be able to have the conversation with confidence that, hey, I get it. Like, you don't want a lot of people in your house. This house is distressed. May not make sense for you to list it on the open market. What if I can get you a cash offer here? So this kind of goes back towards the express offers conversation as well. There's other ways. I'm not going to get into fine details on tax auctions or foreclosures, looking in local listings and within newspapers or Facebook Marketplace and probates and things like that. But there are a lot of opportunities, and I would once again encourage you to be efficient with your marketing, with your time. So whenever you're putting together marketing on certain types of deals, just make sure to cultivate in, we have ability to get you a quick offer and do that. And those are things too that you can do along with your express offer certification. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot one other thing. So presenting the deals. Here's the thing, guys. If you are working on cultivating a relationship with an investor, if you just start blasting them away with, potential deals that you haven't really qualified very well, then you're probably going to irritate them and not really gain their trust or business, basically. So do just a few things when you send them deals. This doesn't need to be a massive amount of time, but things that I always ask for immediately, like somebody will send me something and like a deal with very little information, maybe not even a full address and not any pictures, okay? So if you can do that, if you can just gather some pictures, address, a quick CMA, doesn't have to be in depth, just pull all the sales in that subdivision or whatever for the last 6 months, bought, sold, listed, whatever. You don't have to fine tooth comb it. Just show them what's out there. Most of these guys are pretty knowledgeable. They know what they're doing. But if you can just give them some of those things to make it a little bit easier for them to analyze, that goes a long way. I get bombarded with stuff, probably 40 or 50 deals each day, and like maybe even more. So I've got to go through those really, really quickly. And, I know that 95% of them aren't really going to meet our criteria, but the ones that don't even have a easy description or a way to access pictures, I'm just probably not even going to take a look at it. Okay. So make sure that when you find deals that you don't, that you kind of set yourself up for success is what I would say with that, by the way that you present them. Okay. So be a connector. So referrals referrals can easily, over time, not quickly, but over time, be one of your greatest sources of leads. I'm sure probably some of you guys would attest to that now. And so I'd encourage you to be a go-giver. If you guys ever read that book, be a connector, and start connecting people. If you're cultivating a relationship with a real estate investor, just say, hey, is there anything I can help with? Do you need help with, is there any, weaknesses on your team that I could help with? And if you've got, good photographer, like we've got this guy who does very cheap, inexpensive 3D Matterports, for example. And the guy's great, and we use them a lot. So you can say, hey, you ever thought about using 3D Matterports to manage your rehabs or to list your properties? You can connect them with them. I'm going to get to comments in just a second, guys. I'm going to stay focused here, then I'll get to all that. If you know contractors, great title companies, lenders, pest control companies, on and on and on and on and on. The reason I even put pest control company, because our pest control guy has referred to us multiple deals that we've bought and closed on, right? And anytime I don't know about any time, but recently he was working with a customer who had significant termite damage, and she was like, I don't know if I want to deal with all this. This is a big headache. I'm kind of worried about it. And he's like, well, I know a guy who buys houses like this, and we end up buying the house. So connect those people, right? And with you being an agent, when you're connecting them, the kind of implied, and you may want to get like implicit agreement that, hey, you're going to get the listing if you're sending them deals or connecting with people that are bringing them deals. Okay. And the last couple of things, I like to say that, even the most successful investors all started with no experience. So if you're, everyone here was a new agent at one point in time, and you probably had some mentoring, some guidance, and some people who helped you. There's going to be a lot of newbie real estate investors. You don't want them to take up too much of your time, but you never know when you've got that next rock star coming up. So just think about that. You can kind of found that, you can never go wrong by giving and helping others. It tends to come back a lot of times, tenfold than what you expect. So just keep that in mind. Be guarded with your time, but also be helpful. Long-standing business relationships are built on good, honest deals between good, honest people. The market is maybe big where you're at, but it's also small. Word gets around quickly, so treat people right, and that your good name is going to start to cultivate some business for you, and that's it. Relationship and reputation obviously leads to deals. Here's a few resources. Don't know what just happened there. Let's see here. Okay, so my website, my main website is brantphillips.com. If you want to reach out with me, that way you can. Obviously, workplace is here, and Flip a House book is my where you can get access to my How to Flip a House book, and it's just a free chapter. If you just message me, I'll send you a free book, a free PDF of that. And then if you want to take a look at my YouTube channel, it's called Real Estate Fundamentals with Brant Phillips. Kind of a mouthful, but that's that channel. Well, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that video and learned a lot about how to grow your business working with the real estate investors. And don't forget, like I mentioned at the start of this video, if you are looking to grow your business and get plugged in with an investment company that is going to help you with marketing, with acquisitions, with funding your deals, get plugged in with us and really partner with us is what we're looking for, is joint venture partnership relationships with agents across the country. Then hit me up. You can private message me. You can respond in the comments. We check all the comments all the time. And the name of my company, once again, Invest Home Pro. Look me up, investhomepro.com, Brant at investhomepro.com. But anyways, regardless of that, I hope you got a lot from the video. Go out and take action, and we'll talk to you on the next video.